Welcome back to the channel, you guys. If you are new here, my name's Tina and I'm a DIYer and also the owner of Studio Calm, where I share my original artwork. And if you've been following along, then you know that I've been on a mission to basically improve every little corner in my house. I feel like aesthetically I'm pretty pleased with my house, but organizationally and functionally it is just not working. I've been on an organization kick lately, so today we're going to tackle my pantry. It is kind of a big mess right now, so I'm very excited to finally get it done. I have some ideas that I've been really wanting to try, so I hope this gives you some inspo. I also would like to thank Drift for sponsoring today's video. I'll talk a little bit more about them later, but for now, let me show you guys what we're working with. Behind door number one, we have my pantry, which if you guys remember, I redid this door, which I'm very happy that I did. It definitely ties with the kitchen better, but the one thing that I'm struggling with is actually the inside of it, which I think a lot of you guys can relate to, especially if you don't have a huge pantry. You probably have something that looks like this. Everything is kind of just piled in there, and I do have little organizational containers, but since these shelves are so deep, it's so hard to remember what I actually have in there, and also to grab items, especially when it comes to like this dark little corner. I want to come up with a DIY solution that is just going to maximize the space and make it function so much better. So we're going to work on the shelves. We're also going to use some of the vertical space here. And I also need to figure out what to do with that top part, because if you are a shorty like me, you probably can't access this shelf that often. So right now it is basically empty. So yeah, that is what we're working with, and I want to make this my dream Pinterest worthy pantry. So I'm gonna jump right in, clear everything out, and figure out the game plan. So of course I had to mock this up, and this really just helps me visualize and game plan what I'm going to do. And you guys always ask what the app is, and it's called Procreate. I basically use it every single day and can't recommend it enough, so I will link that below for you. So the way I'm going to maximize the space in the pantry, especially since the shelves are so deep, is by having a lot of different tiers within each of the 4 shelves. I will pop up a picture here, but I've seen these expandable spice racks, and they're in a U shape, which I think is really genius because it really does take up every little inch inside a cabinet to really maximize it. So I'm taking that idea and I'm going to make it for the pantry so that we have a custom solution. It's going to fit perfectly in there, and that way you don't have to deal with any like expandable parts, because those are always a little bit difficult to work with, especially when there's like a dip in the different shelving heights. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but that kind of drives me crazy. So this is a great solution, and it's also going to be really easy to make. And of course, I'm also going to have other tiered things like baskets and turntables, lazy Susans, all of that. And to maximize even more vertical space, I'm going to utilize the back of the door and adding little shelves here. This is going to hold all the spices that I don't use that often. It's going to free up some space, and maybe I'll also add like a towel rack or a paper towel holder here, because I never know where to put our paper towel and it's always on the counter. It just doesn't look that good, so I think that would be nice to add here as well. We're gonna paint the door green because currently it's naked. I never got around to it the first time I did it, so I'm going to do that this time around. And then for this bottom part, I wanted to use the same wallpaper that I used for my stair risers. I think this will just tie it all together and just finish it off a little bit nicer. I'm already getting so excited about this project because my life in the kitchen is going to be so much easier. We are gonna get started with the shelving, so let's go ahead and build those first. I've been putting this off for so long now because I honestly thought this pantry was hopeless and I wouldn't be able to fix it without completely ripping everything out and starting over. But you guys know me, and you know that I try my best to work with what's already there. This makes things a lot more budget friendly and also just more realistic to tackle. Oh my god, how old are these? That really was my goal for this project, and I feel like with DIY you can just get so creative and create solutions that will work for you. So as much as I want to just rip this whole thing out, we are not doing any major demo. We are just going to improve upon the space that we already have. Especially now that Brian and I have just been really enjoying being in the kitchen and making more meals at home, getting this pantry in order is a must. It is officially summer, so I am actually going to switch out my little car air freshener from Drift. I've been using this in our car for months and I absolutely love it, and they are kindly sponsoring today's video. If you're not familiar with Drift, they started it as a solution for better air care. They use premium essential and fragrance oils in all of their products, and what I love about them is that they don't use any harmful chemicals that traditional fragrance companies use. All of their products just look so sleek, and they have candles and diffusers as well as room sprays, but I personally love the car air freshener because I feel like it's so unique. So this is basically a clip that you put onto your visor, and the best part is it is magnetic, so you can just stick that right on there. I like the wood one just because it's totally my vibe, but they also have a stone and metal version if you want something that's even more sleek. I just got in a new fragrance, and this one is Cabana, which I think is so perfect for summer. The notes on this one are coconut, sea salt, bergamot, and cedar, which honestly is like my favorite combo ever, especially for summertime and beachy vibes. I'm just gonna take off my old one and then put on my new scent and then clip it right back into my car. You can get this as a subscription every month so that you never run out, and you can also do their scent of the month, which I think is really fun, or you can choose whatever fragrances that you want, and the starter kit comes with the clip as well as the scent. If you'd like to try them out, I have a code below for 55% off of your first month, which I think is a huge savings, so definitely check them out, and I'll have everything linked below for you. Okay, here is what we're working with. I'm going to need to figure out how to organize all of this. I'm thinking there's going to be a shelf for like snacks because, as you can tell, we are very big snackers in this house. And then I want to do one shelf that's just for ingredients. Everything that's kind of in bigger bottles and packages, I think that should be all in its own shelf. So I'm going to plan for that. When it comes to organizing everything, I think it's important just to lay it all out and see what you actually have, group everything together, and then obviously throw away things that are expired, because I'm sure there are a bunch of items that I did not realize are very old. And I think it's important to make it function for you. So if you've ever watched things like the home edit, they just make everything look so aesthetic, and they tend to put things that are color coordinated, which I think looks beautiful. It is totally goals, but it's also not very realistic because I feel like sometimes they probably just buy extra items to make it fit within the color palette. But for my personal kitchen, I want to use what I already have and make it as realistic and also as functional as possible so that I can keep up a system. Okay guys, time for a dry fit. Let's make sure everything actually works the way that I intended it to. So I have my legs right here. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. Okay, perfect. Yes, that looks so good. Oh yes, so good. And then I have this middle piece here, which I'm going to pocket hole and then probably put legs underneath as well. Look at that, you guys, so much more storage. So here's the vision. I put my little pastas under here, which actually fit perfect. For these, I never know where to put them. They just take up so much space, but now I have a shelf that I could just put on top. This is tiered shelving at its finest, you guys. I couldn't help myself and I added it some more, but look at how amazing this already looks. For the back side, I was originally going to do pocket holes so that this would be kind of more of a floating situation. However, I realize it's going to be hard to kind of install and then take apart if I ever need to do that in the future. So instead, I think I'm going to do these two legs on both sides there, so it is kind of like a little cubby situation, which I don't mind. Shelf risers are definitely not a new idea to keep pantries and cabinets organized, but I think that creating your own allows you to, one, make it for way cheaper, and two, make it custom fit in your space, which I honestly think there's nothing more satisfying than that. And these are also really easy to make because you just need one shelf piece and then two support legs. So not only can you adjust the width, but you can also make the height whatever you want, and I ended up making mine about 8 inches tall. This allowed me to fit some of my taller items underneath without any issues. Each of the boards were about $14, and I only used 2 to make all the shelves. So in total, I made this for under $30, which I think is amazing. Honestly, anything that you could imagine, you can definitely DIY a solution for it. After filling the holes, I just sanded the whole thing down, and all you have to do is paint it because these come pre-primed, which is really nice. Let's do something about this whole bottom area. I'm thinking wallpaper, contact paper, some trim, and then probably some trim down here as well because that just does not look good. So I always get asked what color my kitchen is, and it is Muted Sage by Behr. I painted this door the same color as my cabinets, and it just makes it feel so much more cohesive and doesn't look like a random closet next to the kitchen. And if you want to see how I added the picture frame molding, I will have a link for that video below for you. After painting the backside of this door, I was thinking maybe I should paint the actual casing around the door as well. It definitely makes a bigger statement when the trim is the same color, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So if you're anything like me, you probably love watching home tours, especially celeb ones on the AD channel. They always have fabulous pantries, and I always thought my pantry could never look like that because it's just so outdated. It's so easy just to take your groceries and throw it into the closet and dig through it later, but after learning how to DIY my home, it has made me rethink everything. A lot of you love watching my closet makeovers, and they have honestly become some of my favorites to do because after I do them, I just feel like my life is in order again. If you're in the same boat as me and had a pantry that looked like my before shots, just know that the task of organizing it is actually a lot less daunting once you get started, because with just a few small changes, you can have a home that feels calm and organized, and all it takes is a little DIY magic. Perfect. Okay, how much better does this already look? And now I'm going to work on this back door. So I got these racks which are perfect for putting spices that I don't use every day. And the only issue is I just want to make sure that I don't hit the shelf and that I have enough space to actually put everything. And when the door is closed, it will go in just a little bit, but that just means you need to leave like an inch in the front of the shelf. That way it doesn't hit anything. Okay, the hardest part about this is leveling everything, so let me get my tape and my level. Oh my god, I was scared I was going to drill through the whole door. Raise your hand if you're a messy DIYer because I totally am, but I'm ready to clean this all up. We're going to get this whole thing situated. I have all of my things that I still need to organize a little bit more, but I did grab some new containers. So these are going to be for all our cereals and dry goods because we buy them in bulk. My one tip for this is that if you're going to label them, use a chalkboard marker because that way you can just erase it off and you don't have to deal with messy sticker residue. So that is my favorite way to label things. I also grabbed some more turntables, and this is a stackable basket that actually is foldable. So I can't wait to use this. I haven't decided if I'm going to use it for bread or snacks or what, but we will see once we get everything inside. Adding these lights automatically brought my pantry into the present day. It instantly brightened it and just felt so much more modern and luxurious. I always feel very fancy when I open my closet and the light just automatically turns on, so I cannot recommend these enough, especially for a small closet that needs some light. I had so much fun organizing everything back into my new pantry. Like, you guys have no idea how excited I am for this. I decided to separate each shelf into zones, so the top is more like grains and cereals. The second shelf is going to be all of our snacks, and underneath that is going to be cooking ingredients. And the last shelf is going to be grab-and-go items like our bread, buns, and tortillas, as well as potatoes and any other veggies and produce. It is almost time for the reveal, but before we do that, let's take a look back at what this pantry looked like before. It was so disorganized, everything was everywhere, and after doing this makeover, it is so much more functional and also very inspiring. So without further ado, here is the after. I honestly have no words. I am seriously so happy that I did this. This just brings me so much joy, and I can't believe I was able to fit everything in here, and I still have room to grow. So if you've been procrastinating on organizing your pantry, take this as your sign, because honestly, I did not have to do that much work and it just looks a million times better in here. Now whenever I need a snack, I don't need to dig through a whole bunch of things. I can just grab what I need and put it back. Like, this honestly is such a game changer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and also let me know what organization project that you want to do next, because I am curious to know. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram if you haven't already. I post on there every single day, and that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!